I'm doing a game review of Gargoyles for Sega Genesis / Megadrive. I've had this game since I was a kid. I can't remember which family member bought it me. I think it was my cousin. I had it since I was 6, you see, I forget, but it's a great game. Now, a lot don't like the game because of its difficulty. A lot bang on the third boss is where most people is the furthest it can get. Can't get any further without cheating. I don't think that third boss is hard at all, but a lot of people really struggle with that third boss. Where you've got to destroy its two hands and its two sides, and people end up falling off and don't end up doing it. Don't have a name for a boss, but a lot consider that's the furthest most people can get without cheating. About the difficulty of this game, it's a hard game, but it's not the hardest game ever made, if you know what I mean. A lot of people think it is, that's why it gets negative stick by a lot of people. But I've beat the game numerous times without cheating, on all 3 difficulties: easy, normal, hard. I normally play it on easy now, but there's no difference. Even if you play it on hard, the ending's just the same, it's just the end credits. Now the story of the game is the Gargoyles. I've not seen the animated series. I never did a season of it. So actually I did. I saw a few episodes when I was a kid, but I've not seen the whole season of the animated series what it's based on. But I've seen a few episodes. The gargoyles in the game, obviously, and the point of the game, it seems, is you have to miss red eye. When you beat bosses, a red eye goes from stage to stage until you fight the final boss. There's 5 stages in the game. Don't know the name of the stages, but I looked at the stage, but I can't remember. But first stage, I forget where you are, but second stage, you're in a hellish looking level that looks like hell, basically. Third stage, you're in New York. Fourth stage, you're on a train looking stage. And the 5th stage, you're in another hellish looking level with fire everywhere. And you've got to go the correct arrows to then they take on the final boss. So there's 4 stages, and then you fight the final boss. And she's obviously the hardest boss in the game. The first part of the fight is not really hard. You fight like wolf-looking enemies, and then you've got to keep attacking the eye. And then when she's nearly dead, she'll do this crazy thing where she's spitting fire, and you've got to somehow hit her. That's the hardest part of the whole game. But if you do this jump attack, where you jump and then do like the jump claw attack, that does more damage. So in that fight, in the final part, you want to do that. It does more damage. If you do that to her twice, it seems I beat her, in my version anyway. Where if you just swipe, it takes more hits, so you want to do a jump and slash attack. Because if you do that twice when she's on the hardest part of the game, where she's jumping all over the place, spitting fire, you've got to get lucky in it twice, but you've done that twice. She'll be dead, and then you beat the game, the credits roll. So always do that attack and not the slash. But yeah, what can I say about the game? What else can I say about the game? It's a hard game. It's not quite as hard as Shaq and the Forever Man, but it is a hard game. You get 2 continues in the game. And it depends what difficulty you play and how many lives you start with. Like if you play in hard mode, you only get 3 lives. If you play in normal, you only get 5. And you get 7 if you're playing easy. And these Viking female bosses on the first 2 levels, you don't see them in 3 or 4. They can give you extra lives. Sometimes it's randomised, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So you can sometimes have a lucky playthrough and sometimes you can't. But there's always extra lives that can be found in the game that are always in the same places. And there's 2 continues you can find. So yeah, you get 2 continues. If you find where they are. They're always in the same places. So. One's at the start of the second level, where if you press right at the start of the second level, you'll fall where it is. And then the second one, I think, is on third level. But yeah, it's not a bad game at all. It's one of the hardest games on the Sega Genesis / Megadrive library, though. If you're not good at, I think it's a platform kind of game. If you're not good at these sort of games, this isn't the game for you. I mean, I beat this game loads and loads of times, playing normally without cheating. But I know a lot of people who can't beat this game. Like I said, most people get the third boss, and that's it. They can't get any further. They lose all their lives and continue to that point and have to cheat to see the game to go any further in the game. But I don't think that boss is that hard. I'll be honest. I'll be completely honest. It's obviously harder than the first two bosses. And the fourth boss, where you've got to fight robot enemies, you've got to fight three sets of two robot enemies, and then one last red coloured one. That's hard. A bit of an hard boss. We're not really on easy. It is on hard though. Whenever you do this charge attack, it does so much damage, certainly on hard mode. On easy normal, not really, but on hard. But I don't think that fight's hard. The only boss I struggle with is the final boss, the final part where I've just said she jumps all over the place and swings. And she spits fire at you, and you've got to hit her twice if you do a jump slash attack. That's the final hardest part in the whole game for me, but I've never really had trouble with this game, even when I was a kid. And I obviously got a game over first few times I played it, but I beat loads and loads and loads of times. I beat last night and thought I'd review the game. It's a good game. Sorry for still got side parking. See what else I can say about the game. Not really a whole lot. It's a pretty short game. If you're good at the game, it can be beaten under 45 minutes. Would I recommend the game? Yeah, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. It's not the worst game ever made. A lot of people don't like it because of the difficulty, but I think it's a pretty fun game. You should give it a go if you've not played it. But yeah, I'm delighted to have it in as a collection. I like the game. It apparently got a SNES release, but it got cancelled, so it didn't really, if you know what I mean. So it never got a SNES release. Not really much else I can say. It's a pretty short game, like I just said. A lot don't like it because of the difficulty, but I think the game's fun. I think it's a hard game, but there's harder games, if you know what I mean. It's not as hard as what people say it is. Like that third boss where people struggle at, I mean, if you just know where to jump to the side and don't fall off and just cling on and destroy the hands, you should be able to do it, but a lot of people seem to struggle on it. That third boss. And a lot of people also struggle on the final part of that fight, but if you can jump to the top and then just keep jumping and doing that claw attack, you can destroy the last part of the fight quicker and then beat the level that way. But a lot of people can't even get to that part anyway. They struggle with destroying all 4 pieces for that part. Even shows a lot of people can't even do that part. They can't even get to the final part. So yeah, I think I've said all I can say. It's a good game. You should check it out. With practice, you should be able to beat it. It's not as hard as what people say it is. 6 out of 10.